All right, guys, welcome back. We just ended on sleepy time, and now we're gonna get the scene of Chosen One wanting to see if he has the special power that Betty possesses. You know, being able to be hit a million times and it does nothing to him. So he tells his guys, don't do anything unless I violently throw you off of me and request a towel. So they beat the hell out of him. He clearly does not have this power. He gets pummeled with these sticks. These guys are going to town on him, beating him up, and there's the one guy that keeps jumping in the air, beating the shit out of him. They're like, hold on, guys, hold on, guys. Oh, he did mention violently throwing us off of his body. Oh, yeah. And then they all lay on top of him. Okay, we're ready. Throw us off. Okay. You think he's the sleep guy? Let's get home. Don't tell mom. So like they're all brothers or something. It's great shit. So basically now there's a time lapse. So he's just kind of laying there passed out, and it's now nighttime. He wakes up, looks up, and he sees Woe. That's her name, Woe. The one-boobed warrior who might have a connection to the mother at the beginning. I don't know. She has the same thing around her neck. Comes into play a little later on. So she introduces herself as Woe, and then he looks down at her one boob, which is so cool. I think the way they accomplished that, because it looks like a practical thing. It doesn't look fake at all. So I think they just got a woman who was pretty flat-chested, and they put a piece on top of her that they molded as a one boob. I think that's how they accomplished it, and it works awesome. It's great looking. She tells him that it's not his time just yet to stand against Master Pain or Betty. Chosen One is too distracted by her single boob. I'm sorry. She basically repeats herself, and then he informs her that he will beat him. So she challenges him. She's like, if you can beat him, you should have no trouble beating me. They fight first with their fists, and then it of course ends with like a tongue war. Tongues go back and forth, and then she pulls away and she sees Tonguey kind of going off there. His tongue has a face on it that has a tongue. So it's a tongue within a tongue. It's weird. And it's like, pulls it back in, like he pulls his tongue back in. What's wrong? And she goes, the supreme gift. You must trust the power of the tongue. But I must warn you. He just keeps reusing the same shot. She tells him to avoid the meadow because Moon Yu, Betty's protector, is in the meadow. She goes, we will meet again, Chosen One, many more times in the sequel. One of the many references to a sequel that has yet to happen. I want this sequel. Chosen One recalls seeing the same pendant Woe was wearing around her neck on his mother as a child. So, a little odd connection there. The next scene has Tang humming, oh, Taco Bell, product placement with Taco Bell, enchilito, macho burrito. Betty's assistant comes out. And this is, again, I think this is this the temple area? Or, no, this wouldn't be the temple area. No, this is the other area where Betty, I guess, resides with the Hooters and shit. I think, right? I don't know. It's hard. It's not like it matters, right? But anyways, Betty's assistant comes out and, Master Tang, what are you doing here? Tang goes, I've come to kick ass. Tang threatens to kick Betty's ass, but he starts coughing again. And, it's basically, geez, do you need a glass of water or something? At least cover your mouth. We're all going to catch it. Fight or die. Okay, I'll shake your bouncy booty. Hit it! And this is the first introduction of the, you can't touch this song, which is Betty's bread and butter song. It's just so cool how there's this footage, and Steve Oedekerk inserts this guy with like a boombox over his shoulder, just dancing in the background. And they blend it really well here, where like the camera on the original film kind of moves over this way, and that's where he inserts the guy just dancing there. It's just such a beautiful mashup of, old footage and new footage. It works so well together. I love it so much. So it culminates with Tang saying, because Tang rips the shirt off of one of the people that's like kind of, coming to Tang's aid, and the guy's like, and Tang stops him, and he goes, don't. He'll kill you like a small dog. Let your anger be as a monkey in a piñata, hiding with the candy, hoping the kids don't break through with the stick. And then it goes with Betty going, oh, geez. And now the snort thing starts. And then basically Tang says, I'll fight you later. But right now is not the time. And he goes, goodbye, Sally. Betty turns around and he's thinking to himself, it's Betty, you son of a pig. The name is Betty. And we hear kind of like a combo of his laugh and this cow, which comes into play later on with Moon Yu. So we hear the cow kind of going on there. Now that line, it's Betty, you son of a pig, is actually on a shirt that I found that I want to get. I love that line. It's Betty, you son of a pig. Now it cuts to Chosen One talking with Lang, who begs him to stay alive. Stay and live a life here with me. Basically, he's like, not agreeing to it. And she goes, you'll never make it. Never make it. Ever make it. Never make it. Never make it. You'll never make it. Ever. Don't you see? You can't make it. And then I love this shot. He grabs her and the dub is so calm. It's, I implore you to reconsider. But it's such an intense zoom in on Chosen One's face, and he's like, but it's, I implore you to reconsider. I love it. I love the contrast between the calmness and the dub and the footage of him clearly yelling. And then it's, okay. Ling tells him that Betty basically just stands at a waterfall. So that whole scene, Chosen One's just asking Ling, where is Betty? She refuses to tell him, and then she reconsiders. And tells him that he's at a waterfall just swinging a chain around. And then she just begins to sob uncontrollably. So it cuts to a new scene here with Chosen One kind of going to look for Betty, and we see like a floating pyramid off in the distance. We don't know why that's there, but that is in play at the end of the film. We can still hear Ling, though, sobbing. Even though it's a totally different scene, we still hear her in the background. And then we get the cow. It's funny. The Matrix things are cool, and there's some cool action in here. I remember being a kid and watching this scene, and this was one of my favorite scenes as a kid, because it's action-packed, right? It's just, he's fighting a cow. It's just so funny. But he eventually defeats it by, milking it to death, essentially. Good stuff, good stuff. Then now the next scene is the waterfall scene. I love the waterfall scene, and if you look closely, in the top right corner of the screen, when we're looking down, the waterfall going down, you can see the Titanic. Oedekerk just inserted the Titanic. It's so funny. So anyways, Betty is just up there. And it's such a weird thing that this is in the actual movie. It's because it's such a weird shot. It's like half of it is being, like just water is hitting the camera. We can kind of see the character of Betty just kind of there swinging his chain around. Slinging the chain, slinging the chain, slinging the chain, and slinging. And Chosen One appears, right? And basically, Chosen One confronts him, and Betty goes, I spanked you as a baby, I'll spank you now, bitch. And then, out of nowhere, in steps Ling's father. He just comes out of nowhere, tries to save Chosen One. Him and Chosen One are bickering. Betty's up there swinging his chain still. When you girls are done kissing, I've got some ass kicking for you. And Ling's father tries to fight Betty, but he's clearly not winning. And then Betty throws his iron claw at Chosen One. And this is the part where this happens twice in the film, I believe, where the film kind of pauses and we get the narration from Tang. And Tang goes, at that moment, the Chosen One learned a valuable lesson about iron claws. They hurt like crap, man. And then the film picks back up and and he's just getting thrown around by Betty. He's throwing him left and right, picking him up, throwing him. That scene culminates in Chosen One and Ling's father going over the waterfall, as does a whale. A whale just appears out of nowhere and falls down with them. So they all hit the bottom, presumably with the Titanic down there. Now we get Chosen One taking Ling's father to Master Tang, and of course Master Tang remembers him from the flashback. So he's before that we get that great line where they're walking through the town and Ling's father's like, let me know if you see a Radio Shack. And Tang is training his men at this point, and they're saying 1, of us is wearing a push-up bra. It's lacy. So this is the part where Chosen One brings the father to him, and Tang remembers him, and he's so excited to see his old friend. He's hey, I remember you. And it cuts back to the flashback of him killing the dog by farting. Ricky Tiki, Ricky Tiki. I love Tang's dialogue. It's like, what are you doing? What are you talking about, dude? Ricky Tiki. Tang is like hugging him, and he's like touching his wound, and he's, I have a mortal wound. And then Tang is like, oh, where does it hurt? And Ling's father, oh, pretty much around the big bloody spot. They bring him in. Tang is going to get the Neosporin. Ba-na-na-na-na. Neo. Ba-na-na-na-na. Sporin. So they bring him in, and Ling's father tells Tang that basically without Tongi, the council is invincible, and that they'll come to Betty's aid. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the footage is of Master Tang nodding, and then Oedekerk dubs over it. No, I don't understand you. And basically, this is a weird part here because now Ling's father is in pain, and Tang does this weird massaging on like right here. He's like rubbing like right here. And Ling's father is like, oh, no, stop. And Tang is like, no, this is good. This one's for the both of us. So you can like presume that there was some sexual history between the two of them. So this scene culminates in Ling's father dying. He dies, kicks the bucket. Chosen One tells Ling how sorry he is, and Ling gives the great line, he was my father my entire life. I loved him, and now he's dead. Except for his hair and nails. Dead. And then, so she's in distress, obviously. She doesn't know what's going on. And this is basically, she reveals, oh man, I'm a little tiny horny honey. Chosen One's like, whoa. Turns around, they look at each other. And Ling takes off her robe, puts it back on. Oh, but I don't know. It's so soon. Takes it off, puts it back on. I can't remember the last time I felt like this. So ready for action. So ready for love. Takes it off, puts it back on. I need you now in the worst way. I can't control it. Takes it off completely. Take me, man meat. Brings it back up. Oh, but I don't want you to think I'm a slut. And then they just hug. So there's this whole scene where she's like basically on the verge of giving herself over to him, and then, oh, but I don't want you to think I'm a slut. They hug, Chosen One is confused, and the scene ends. Mushu Fasa stuff, it's funny. He just tells him that he needs to train and that the answer resides in the stars above. Then we get the funny ass scene of Betty just like looking at drawings of birds and tigers. So, bird, birdie, birdie, bird, tiger. Tiger. And then after doing this, he displays his ability as a great magician. And this is Oedekerk using different pieces of footage here with the assistant wearing different colored clothing. And so he goes, I am a great magician. Your clothes are red. And now his clothes are red. And he's like, wow, do it again. It's just a funny play on, using different scenes but making it look like one scene. Funny shit. And then in comes a random guy that I copy this voice so much. I think it's one of my favorite voices. It's Betty, Master Betty, he's still alive, Betty. Betty's like, oh, this is bad. This is very bad. Your clothes are black. And then it's like the assistant's clothes are back to being black. And the assistant asks what exactly the evil council's plan is. And Betty goes, it is evil. It is so evil. It is a bad, bad plan that will hurt many people that are good. I think it's great because it's so bad. And then he says, the assistant, I see. I think. And now the next scene is Oedekerk using guys that are not talking clearly, but he's playing them off as ventriloquists. So there's these two guys walk in, totally different scene, And they're just singing, "We are both ventriloquists, ventriloquists, ventriloquists. We are both ventriloquists and we practice every day." Betty comes in right as they're about to leave, asking, where is the chosen one? They refuse to tell him, and so begins Betty's killing spree, which is crazy because there's this one part where he like karate chops the guy in the neck. That sends the guy flying into the wall, and it's clearly the original footage. And the guy hits his fucking head on the wall and splatters blood everywhere. And the narrator, Tang, so he hits him, splatters the blood everywhere. Ouchie! And then it ends with Betty basically demanding that his men hang the ventriloquists. Betty goes, "Orson!" And then the guys go, "Welles." I never understood that. And I still don't think I understand it, but I know, Orson Welles. I understand what the whole name means, but it's just weird that that's their, like, code. Orson Welles. So now the ventriloquists are hanging upside down. You can definitely presume in the original film, these guys are dead, like dead. But they're ventriloquists, so we are both ventriloquists, but now we're upside down. I love it. They're still singing. Ling enters, and she gets, obviously ambushed by the guys, brought over to Betty, and there's that great, "I'll never tell you. Whew! Oh, I like them feisty." They just keep one-upping each other with these odd noises and shit, and then ends with Ling escaping, and Betty going, "Go follow her, but save her for me." Man, props to Steve Oedekerk for these voices, because killing my voice here doing this shit. But I got to. You can't do this and not replicate the voices. Okay, so now we're cutting to Tang walking through like some wooded area, a lot of brushery and shrubs, and if any of that makes any sense, shrubs? Yeah, shrubs. Whatever. He's walking around, chicken go cluck cluck, cow go moo, piggy go, how about you? Betty attacks, right? So like Master Tang thinks he hears something, and Betty's men are going, woohoo, woohoo. Camera pans over to Betty trying to do the same thing, but Betty just goes, "I'm just a birdie too." And Tang is so naive, he's just like, huh? Lemurs go, or something like that. He's just like back to singing. Betty obviously attacks. They fight. They get into a battle here, and the guy with the boombox is in the background, jamming out, and it culminates in the second pause of the film where Tang is about to literally get the claw to the face, and Tang goes, "Okay, so here are my options. A, quickly duck sideways, dodge the claw, then take him out with a spinning back kick. Or B, take the claw in the face, then roll on the ground and die." And then the film picks back up and he takes the claw to the face, rolls on the ground. Should have gone with A. This is the part, this little part right here, that's why I think it's Tang the whole film. Because he goes, "Here are my options," right? Again, the voices are so similar here. So we can assume Tang is dead. Cuts to Wimplo running from Betty and his men, trying to lure them into a trap. Betty kills Wimp. He goes out with a squeak. Cut to Ling sneaking around and Betty's men sneakily following her, saying the great line, "You go that way, I'll go home." I use that a lot in my life as well. And then it cuts to Ling spotting Chosen One way out in the distance, and it's the classic. I mean, there's so many classic scenes in here, but this is definitely one of them. "Chosen One!" And then it cuts to Chosen One. "Ling? Hurry! I'm coming!" So he's off in the distance. "Chosen One!" He's still kind of off in the distance. "I'm coming! Chosen One!" Now he's really close. "I'm coming! Chosen One!" Now he's back to being way off in the distance. So Oedekerk is playing with the editing here. I shit you not. Upon rewatch, because I hadn't watched this in quite some time, I totally forgot that he's running and a little net comes out of nowhere. A little net takes him out. It's so funny. It's so good. And then we get, this movie has an intermission. It's not a long intermission, but there is an intermission here. We get the great things. My nipples look like milk duds. And I got some yellow liquid for your popcorn, and it's non-dairy. All that shit. So after the intermission, I wrote here, I love how it cuts back and he's in a different pose from when he ended on his, dying under the tiny net. He's definitely been trying even during the intermission. Now he just reverses the capture method, right? So it's just they reverse the footage and he escapes. And now he comes across everyone that has been basically attacked by Betty. First is Tang. There's the great thing with come closer. I really like the band In Sync. That whole thing there with Harpo and everything. I love it so much. But then he just goes, he basically dies. He goes, so Chosen One just assumes he's dead. And then he hears Ling. Goes over to her, and then she's just saying, remember, I will always love you. Then he hears the dog. All right, so the dog is just laying there. He's been attacked, and the dog dies, makes a human noise. Then he hears Tang again. And he goes over and he's like, I thought you were dead. And Tang is just like, just because a person goes like this doesn't mean they're dead. Then he hears Ling again. Goes over to Ling. Chosen One, why did you go? Why did you leave me? Then he hears the dog. The dog comes running in, so the dog's alive. Everybody's alive. So he's just automatically thinking, if everyone else is alive, then surely Wimp Low. Goes over to Wimp. Wimp! Wimp is not alive. Wimp is actually dead. Oh. You hear flies and shit. It's great. Now we get the great thing with him turning around and going, Betty has gone too far. Killing is wrong and bad. There should be a new, stronger word for killing, like bad wrong or badong. Yes, killing is badong. From this moment, I will stand for the opposite of killing, gnadab. Then it cuts to him practicing his attempt at killing Betty. What's really funny is the actual footage uses the dummies with they put the hairstyle of Betty on these dummies in the actual film. I thought that was just used for Oedekerk, but you can see clearly the original footage has them looking that way as well. It's funny. Ling comes to Chosen One's aid, culminates in her setting his hands on fire. She sees all the blood on his hands from trying to remove the pyramid things from his chest. Attempts to remedy his hands by squeezing lemons on it, shaking salt on it, breaking a thermometer on it, setting his hands on fire. That's what works. Setting his hands on fire is, I guess, the thing that he needed to do. He's able to take them out now, finally. He turns around. You've helped me reach the next level. And here I was starting to think you were just a sadistic psycho bitch. And then she yells some insane psycho bitch shit. She's like, yay! Now we cut to Betty and his men. Betty's mumbling under his breath, hey, guys, you want to get a pizza or something? Or scam some chicks? Or... And then his assistant's like, Master Payne, Betty, that tiny net was surefire. And then Betty's like, yes, a tiny net is a death sentence. It is a net and it is tiny. Now Betty gets a letter from the evil council, right? So the evil council is summoning him. And he's like, oh, geez, this is all I need. He goes to them and he asks them for their help, which they gladly offer. Reveals he's at the temple. Chosen One goes through his options for attack. What can I do here? What are my options for when I'm fighting Betty? What's the best thing to do here? Figures it out. He gets a plan in motion. He goes to town and he asks a guy for a pound of nuts. And we get the great line, that's a lot of nuts! That'll be $4, baby! You want fries with that? I obviously don't want to yell because I'll kill my voice. Chosen One looks at him, walks off. He just left with nuts. And he says that. It's funny too because the guy walks up, the footage of the old footage of the guy walking up into view, and then a clearly digitally inserted hand pops the phone open, and it's like he's talking to the phone. He just left with nuts. So now Betty's ready for battle. He's ready to kick some ass. goes to the temple. They fight. There's that whole thing where he's like, hit it. The guy turns the boombox on, and it's the song is, there's got to be a morning after. Chosen One, he doesn't want that, so he throws this like dart thing or something into the boombox. It switches the song to Black Betty, which is so good. Whoa, Black Betty, bam lamb. Whoa, Black Betty, bam lamb. Now we start to see Steve Oedekerk's dancing here with the. They fight. Again, growing up as a kid, this was one of my favorite scenes. They're just kicking ass here. He rips his shirt. Ripper! It eventually culminates in Chosen One trying to remove one of the things, but accidentally stabbing, I think, the palm of his hand, and that sends Betty flying back. But that, like, because he did that, it's weird. It, like, summons the evil council to come down from the clouds. They're aliens. And they're French. They're French aliens. They start playing the song, which starts to summon the other ones down, and they give Betty extra power here. Fire me up, baby. Now he's ready, because now he has the Paralyzer. Paralyzes Chosen One's arm. How about another Paralyzer? Paralyzes this arm. Now he's just like fighting. And then he gets his ass kicked. Chosen One gets his ass kicked. Now as he's laying on the ground about to be defeated, and he looks over at Betty, and Betty's taunting him with the booties, he thinks back to, whoa, and Mushu Fasa, and, stick your tongue out. And Tonguey comes out and just shoots up. Like his tongue extends like a mile long. Shoots up to the pyramid, wraps itself around one of the pyramids, and whisks it away, presumably crashes it somewhere. Flies back into his mouth. He gets all the power now. He shoots over and he takes the pyramid things out of Betty's chest. And Betty, I guess this is in the actual film, the guy, he's like standing there and you see the holes missing. And he just kind of, and blood squirts like crazy. Betty's dying. He's like, falls on the floor. Ow, I fell and hurt my tummy. He dies. And that's it. Betty's dead, and Ling runs over. Chosen One! Shows her boobs. And the film ends. The film ends there. There's nothing to worry about, he says. And then Master Tang, the narrator, comes in. That's what he thought. And then we get the setup for the sequel that's never happened as of yet. Kung Pow 2, Tongue of Fury. And I always thought this was an actual film. Like, I thought this was a real thing that was going to happen. But it hasn't happened just yet. The rumors are, from what I've heard, that it might not even be martial arts for the sequel. It might be a spaghetti western spoof using Chosen One in there. I think it could work either way. But yeah, I do want a sequel to Kung Pow. Now, of course, you get, as the credits are rolling, you get sort of like how they made the film. They show you the process. And then there's a post-credit scene, which I didn't know for the longest time. It just cuts back to Tang in the field where Chosen One found him, lying there, and he thought he was dead. And there's like a golden eagle picking at his leg. And, he's like, guys, get this golden eagle off of me. It ends with him saying, save the whales. So that's cool. But yeah, guys, so in summation, because that's everything, those are all my notes, that's basically the entire film. Like I said, let's continue the discussion down in the comments and tell me what you thought of Kung Pow. I love this film. This is a perfect comedy to me. It holds a special place in my heart. This is my favorite comedy of all time, and it's Oedekerk's masterpiece. There's not much to look into with it. It's very much face value stuff, but it's genius. It's genius filmmaking. So, Steve, thank you so much for this. I hope I get to talk to you one day and fanboy about this and pick your brain. If it's not too far into the future, and assuming the sequel hasn't come out, pick your brain about the sequel. So yeah, guys, thank you so much, seriously, for watching this. It means a lot to me. So yeah, guys, having said all of that, I'll catch you next time for some more 101.